Hello everyone, a ready for another adventure. It's me, Wokey, and I'm back with another Fake Grand Order video, continuing on in the Grail front. So let's continue the story. We just killed the giant, we killed his dog, and now we get the castle. I assume so, anyway. Seems like it would be all over. The throne had the Grail, so you know we're done here. Let's sweep it up. Oh. There's the giant dying. Did we do it? Careful, Master. Don't get too close. I'm not seeing any more Shadow Knights either. Better shoot him. Alright, both of you, follow me, but slowly. It looks like it's responding to you, Master. What's your assessment? Can you handle it? I think so. Can you help me out, Da Vinci? Don't worry, I've got you covered. As clear as the signal is, there will be no problem configuring your mystic code so it can interface with the Holy Grail. Magical energy wavelengths analyzed. Synchronization complete. Beginning extraction. Nope. This is the tier. Huh? There you are! Sigatani? Oh my, well I guess I wasn't half as sneaky as I thought if you shot right through my talisman. Can't stand anything that has to do with sorcery, but I'd recognize its stench anywhere. Now show yourself! I mean, that can only be... Oh, no, I guess not. Whoa! You! Evil? Taigong Wang? Taigong Wang? Isn't Taigong Wang Lu Sheng? Da Vinci told me about you. I believe she said you were a legendary tactician from China. Haha, legendary? I mean, I am certainly, but hearing it from someone else still makes me blush. I don't know if you know this, but I could be Grand Writer. What are you doing here? Wait, Wokey, I don't think that's the same Taigong Wang we know at Chaldea. I'm pretty sure it's another Taigong Wang, one who was summoned separately to this singularity. Am I right? Oh, more or less. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. So what you been doing here all this time? Me? I sense people fighting in the central castle, so I thought I'd use my Taoist arts to send out a familiar and check it out. Central castle? Oh, me, you don't know? I see. Then you must have been summoned near the center. Take a look at that window. Now that you've become the castle's lord, the fog should clear up and let you see. Would you mind taking a look, Master? Okay. Yeah, that sure is a lot more castle. I see two other castles out there, which must mean... So this castle was just one of three. Correct. Incidentally, I'm the Lord of the Northern Castle. Each castle has a different servant as its lord, and each castle throne contains a tear-shaped fragment of the Holy Grail. Perhaps now you begin to understand the singularity? I'm sure you're familiar with certain ritual in which servants fight to claim the all-powerful wish granter that is a Holy Grail. You mean a Holy Grail war? That's the one, though in this case I think it would be better described as a Holy Grail front. And in this front there will be no escape. This central castle used to cut off from the other two, as it was the only one without a servant lord. But it seems that finally been rectified now that you're here. Now this war can begin in earnest. For servants like us, who were famed as kings and tacticians, this is an ideal summoning. Ideal? I can't argue with that. Wait, can't we resolve this peacefully without fighting? No. Good question. An admirable sentiment, but I'm afraid one that will not be practical here. Servants generally don't materialize without a wish they themselves wanted granted, after all. Granted, there are some like myself who prefer to focus on the bigger picture, but we tend to be the exception rather than the rule. Unfortunately, when multiple wishes come into conflict, it becomes very difficult to avoid war. Even putting my own desires aside, I can't very well demand that my subordinates give up theirs. Subordinates? Does this mean the other castle lords have servant subordinates as well as Shadow Knights? If so, this is going to be an even tougher fight than I thought. He's fading out. Now that this familiar talisman I was using to relay my magical energy is sporting a brand new hole through its center, it seems I won't be able to maintain this form for much longer. On which note, it has been a pleasure to make your acquaintances. As a fellow lord of a castle, I hope to see you on the battlefield fighting for the Holy Grail. Exclamation point. I can't believe Taigong Wang, or another version of him at least, ended up being our enemy. Angry Da Vinci. Come now, cheer up, asshole! Come now, cheer up, it wasn't all bad news. If nothing else, we know for sure that this castle is ours, which means Master and I have taken a big step toward our goal. Not to mention that thanks to Taigong Wang showing up, we now know exactly what we have to do, whether we like it or not. What's that? I'll fill you in later. For the time being, you should rest while I turn this castle into a proper base. After all, it looks like we're going to be here longer than we thought. The lords of the three castles are in place. The battle for the three castles is about to begin. And yet none of them will make it all the way to the twilight. What? Intriguing. And now we get a little fragment piece. Let's go! 3 fragments. I guess that makes sense since there are... I guess we're fighting out the other lords, so okay, makes sense. Okay, let's see. The next one is Section 8, 3 Castle Lords. Guess let's find out who the other lord is. I assume one of this is going to be talking about Taigong, and then who knows about the other one. Actually, based off of the summon banner, it's probably Vitch or something. If I was going to take a wild stab in the dark. Oh, so the third castle is finally open. And you already went to pay respects to its newest lord? Hello? I'm sorry, am I reminding you of someone again? Kinda like Tamamo. No, not at all. How could I think about someone else in the presence of beauty such as yours? Do I need to explain it yet again? My name is Tamamo Vitch of Koyanskaya of Darkness. I never respond to normal summons. I'm an exception among exceptions that only exists thanks to Chaldea's proclivities. I've never appeared anywhere in human history. I only use it for my own personal reference. So I think the reason I received this call this time has more to do with you, since we were both summoned together. Perhaps there's something about this spirit origin that sparks some memories in you? Haha, good question. I do have something of a soft spot for your face. That much is true. Oh my. So you would mess with a woman's fate just because she happens to be your type? Terrible. Tell me, Lord Taoist, are you fond of capital punishment? Because I think the best thing we can do about those wandering eyes of yours is gouge them out here and now. Forgive me, I shouldn't have said that. So can we please refrain from recreating one of the old legends of chaos here? You may be an irresponsible bastard, but I couldn't ask for a more qualified partner. Just look at how easily you whipped out of the very highest level of thought key magecraft defense. Once again, my apologies. Forgive me. Alright, I doubt it would let it go if I had materialized in a more divine form, but it seems luck is on your side. Anyway, what are you going to do about that master? I don't believe we should leave Lord Telemaeus to his own devices either. Of course not. If the legends are true, then he's one of the most formidable sages to ever live. To say nothing of the fact that precious few servants can claim to be both generals and sages. Oh my, I can hardly believe my ears. Even while I'm about singing the enemy's praises, you slip in a verse about your own. I have to hand it to you, Taigon Wang. Zhao Zhu, Liu Shang. I've never seen anyone toot their own horn better than you. Tell me, are you always so loose-lipped? Would you mind if I had NFF look into your relationship history with the opposite sex? I didn't realize I touched the sore spot. I'm here too! Taigon Wang, may I say something? Oh, Neza, of course, what is it? The gate you assign me is still vulnerable. We need to fortify it before the enemy shows up. I see. Since the castle changed between day and night here, we have to build additions for both versions. I've been putting the gates off until later since I wanted to save some of my magical energy for other things, but why rush to build reinforcements now? Won't Lord Telemaeus remain in his castle until he better understands the situation? On the contrary, were I in his position, I'd go on the offensive. So yes, 11th hour or not, we need to make sure our fortifications hold. Can I trust you to handle that, Neza? Don't worry, Huang Feihu is here too. I'm here too! Sure, I can take a look at them, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Lady Neza has always had an eye for architecture. That's great to hear. Thank you for helping out, Huang. Don't be afraid to point out any weaknesses you would attack if you were the enemy. Of course! That's all I've ever been able to do, after all. Well, I think I'll be on my way. I would hate to intrude on your fun little moment with childhood friends. Sheesh! No matter how hard I try, I can't seem to relax around her. I suppose immaturity really isn't the kind of thing you can train yourself out of, no matter how long you work at it. We know you are immature, Taigang Wang. Honestly, I'm relieved to see you haven't changed a bit. I knew you had ascended to the position of Sage Chancellor, but honestly I never could picture you as one. Ah, it's good to hear you two speaking your minds again. A lovely trip down memory lane. Unfortunately, that means I have to ask this. Are you sure you want us to fight this war seriously, Chancellor? Of course I do. Please don't hold back. Understood. I'm a warrior, so holding back isn't really an option for me in any case. This Holy Grail may inspire fear, but I can't deny it has a certain allure as well. And I do have a wish I would like to have granted now, that I'm an empty shadow of humanity. I have a wish, too? I want to punch my old self. Ha, I see. So that's your greatest wish, is it? It's not funny, Huang Feihu. Don't be rude. Oh, sorry. Of course it's not. Every wish is equally valid. That's why there's such valuable things. If you're going to lead us, Chancellor, then I don't see how we can possibly lose. Well, I hope I don't let you down then. Alright, would you two mind guarding the castle gate then? Got it. Leave it to me. You may be immature, but I am perfect. Sure thing, just say the word if you need anything. What a positively ulcer-inducing combination those two make. But never mind that. The real problem, as Huang said, is that the way things are going now, I may just end up winning this war. He doesn't want to win? He wants to lose? I don't know if they know this, but I'm a grand level servant. I could have been the Grand Rider. That's what he says to himself. I think this is back to us, so I guess we don't see who the other third castle lord is. Maybe it's Thesis. Mo. Morning, Seabog-Jean. Hey, Master, this morning I went ahead and made some living arrangements for you so you'd feel more at home. You can see I did that to the drapes. They're very nice looking drapes now. Couldn't fix the banner, that one kind of sucks. I can't believe you did all this in just one night. No need to thank me, not like servants gotta sleep anyway. I just picked up the trash scattered around and pushed a broom around the place real quick. Anyway, I'm guessing the Lord like you got something else on their mind. How about it, Palmaeus? I had a feeling this might be the case, but I'm still surprised to learn this castle was just one part of a greater whole. And I never would have guessed that Taigong Wang would be one of the other lords of a castle. Taigong Wang is... Ah, that's right. It seems like he was an acquaintance of yours, Master. I knew he wasn't the one from Chaldea, but he's still super helpful. Mo? There, don't worry. We're not talking about your owner. Anyway, that's too bad. I was hoping he wouldn't live up to his reputation, but it seems like he's very much does. That's gonna be a problem. We could overwhelm one enemy with brute force, but not much chance of that working with two of them to deal with. And on top of that, Taigong Wang's supposed to be one of the greatest tacticians ever. That feng shui of his has got to be at least as strong as the Buddha's protection. On the other hand, just holding up here and playing defense, we'll see us with our backs against the wall real quick. Especially since I'm pretty sure the enemy knows more about the singularity than we do. So what's the plan, Lord Talmaeus? I already know what I'd like to do, but... Alright, I have something to tell you first. Now that you're the lord of this castle, we can use the throne to control some of this castle's abilities. Like what? I tested them earlier, and this is the clearest example I could come up with. I made the broom blue. Shadow Knights! It's alright, they're on our side now. They just bowed to me. Seems the lord of the castle is able to summon these things and order them about as they like. That giant must have been using them in place of foot soldiers. Unfortunately, it also seems like they can't leave this castle. The ramparts are as far as they can go. You mean the area where we first fought them? That's right, so we won't be able to take them along with us to guide Taigong Wang's castle. Conversely, we can also expect the enemy to use their own Shadow Knights against us when we attack their castle. So the best we can do with them is have them defend a castle while we're away, huh? Correct. I also learned that we can, at least to some extent, alter the structure of the castle itself. Though doing so does require a substantial amount of magical energy. So does that mean the whole castle is made of magical energy? Because I find it hard to believe that anyone could make a building of this size with magical energy alone. It might be hard to believe, but based on what Talmaeus has told us, along with our own analysis, that does seem to be the case. Even if this is just that kind of singularity, I agree that it's a lot to swallow. At any rate, we can definitely say that being in the lord of one of these castles is a very big deal. What it means to be the lord of a castle. Oh, good timing, my eagle just returned. Caw! So, a mechanical eagle. That's right, you ever see Clash of the Titans? A sick-ass movie. There's a metal bird in that one, too. Check it out. You can think of him as my familiar. With the fog around, I couldn't use him. Since that was no longer a problem, I've been having him serve as our eye in the sky. Fuck me, okay. FEA3AKJZ9Es 3AZET34 4FCX # money sign X2. Was that some kind of password? That's not normally language, it's compressed data. I knew it. It looks like Taigong Wang's familiar left all sorts of nasty traps in this castle before Sugatani shot him. We've removed most of them, but now it looks like the northern castle has already started to reinforce their gate. I'm sure they can also use their throne to manipulate their castle directly, but I guess they'd rather be safe than sorry. Granted, I would do the same thing in their position, but I'm still surprised they're moving so quickly. This is what I hate about capable foe. Our only choice seems to be going on the offensive as soon as possible. Why is that? What about defending? Our environment is well suited to defense, but we could certainly take the route if we didn't need to win this war soon. Unfortunately, we have a weakness our enemies do not. I am sure Taigong Wang is already well aware of it. Yeah, I'm sure he is too. It's the fact that you're human, Wookie. What's wrong with being human? Oh, even I know this one. Being human means you've got to eat and sleep and shit. Alright. Even with Sugatani keeping your food sources secure, that castle can't be the most comfortable environment. Chaldea will do everything we can to support you, of course, but we still won't be able to count on you staying in good health forever. I was once left to fend for myself in a castle during the winter as part of my own survival training, and let me tell you, that was not a good time. Then again, without that experience, I may never have come up with my own magecraft for transforming rotten meat into marbled beef. Obviously, you've had a lot of different experiences yourself, Wookie, but it's not the same thing as being an expert survivalist. And even if you were, we can't afford to take years to resolve a single singularity. So if we don't want all those 3 castles to get stuck in a stalemate, we really do have no choice but to shake things up. Precisely. Wonderfully succinct as well. So yes, there you have it. If we go on the defensive now, it will only be a matter of time until we are out of resources. When considered alongside the knowledge that Taigong Wang was already seen you and so knows our greatest weakness, we are left with no option but to go on the offensive. Truth be told, I don't like to ignore the other castle either, but since we have nowhere near the forces to fight a war on 2 fronts, we can't afford to concern ourselves with it now. I have no doubt Taigong Wang has reached the same conclusion, which is why he's already moving to fortify his own defenses. I'm impressed both of you are already thinking so far ahead. Both you and he are thinking so far ahead. Oh, this is just an old habit by this point. It's just what happens when you're always thinking about how best to get the jump on others. All that said, the situation isn't as bad as it may sound. Now that we know what we have to do, we just have to steel ourselves to do it. Besides, laying siege to a castle was a lot of fun. I definitely agree with that. You two really are enjoying this, huh? Trust me, this is one of those things that just gets more addictive the more you do it. In fact, Peridicus, Leonatos, and I once almost came to blows over who would get to lead the engineering corps. Which is why I need you to make another decision before we do anything else, Master. The enemy castle is almost certainly just like ours in that it changes between the day and night. In other words, it would have fewer enemies and favorable locations by day and more of both by night. Also, this time, we're going to need to fight 2 battles, one to infiltrate the castle and one to lay siege to it. Alright, Master, now that you know what's in store for us, which version of me would you like to go with this time? St. Quartz Cup. Alright, well, I guess I'll make a decision in the next video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. It was a lot of reading in that one, but that's what you do when you got events. Till next time, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Till next time, bye-bye. Peace.